My name is William Charles Clark III, and I am from the Youngstown Valley of Scottish Rite. I was born premature. I was the size of your hand, so from the palm to the tip of the finger was the size that I was. Was not likely to survive, and if I was, my life would not be a very good one. I would be a vegetable. I would not be able to experience life as one would. It wasn't until 2 years old, where I wasn't reaching the developmental milestones that a normal child would, that the doctors diagnosed me with my formal diagnosis, which is cerebral palsy. So I've had 21 surgeries, but none of them allowed me to walk. And then the Shriners had what I believe was an experimental surgery at the time. It is no longer such. And it allowed me to have the walk that I do now, which has allowed me to have the story and the adventure of life that I currently am experiencing. Here you were giving a young kid who didn't have a chance to have a normal life a chance. You knew nothing about me. And I just knew that my code of honor that had demanded that I become a Shriner. And I pay that back in some way, shape, or form.
Both William and I were at a fundraiser. I didn't know William from anybody at that time, but he was a young, energetic guy who sat down at the picnic table where I was and said something about, I want to be a Shriner. And they said, you could help me become a Shriner. And I asked, well, why do you want to be a Shriner? And he told me.
And when I graduated, COVID happened, and I landed a job. We ran into a problem. We were like, well, he can't have a full-time job if he doesn't drive, because I have to travel for my job, right? The rule was that I needed to get a car that was no older than 7 years old. It needed to have Bluetooth, and all these other rules.
And I think that drive that he has, I can go to college, and the biggest thing was drive. I could drive. If I got a car, I'd have freedom. I'd be able to come and go wherever I want.
And needless to say, I couldn't just go to the dump and get a 1989, throwaway. It needed to be fairly recent, and being a college student, that was not a feasible possibility.
I first found out about the Almoner Fund by reading Northern Light, the good that it could do. A little bit of money this way, that the people that receive it had no idea that they could get this kind of help. And I know personally that the money they give comes without strings. It's given to help you. In my case, I had cancer back in '09. And I struggled with all the bills, I struggled with all the surgeries, and help came in the form of an Almoner's Fund donation. And then when I heard about Bill's idea about driving, I said, no, we can help you. And we did.
Ironically, the experience with the car parallels the experience with the surgery. So with the surgery, my body wasn't able to move, right? I wasn't able to have a good life with that. But then the Shriners intervened and they gave me my legs. Well, the Scottish Rite, they gave me my wheels, and which metaphorically, when my legs gave me the freedom to be a human, you guys gave me my freedom to be a citizen, to get off of the system. This time next year, I will completely be off of all governmental programs or assistance, and that wouldn't be possible without you. That was only a dream. But then the Masons came in my life and have shown me that, just like America says, if you really want something, you can do it through self-determination and self-action. And that's what the Almoner Fund has done for me.
When we gave it to him, it made me feel so much better that I knew what it was all about, because I had received it myself, and that now we blessed another person in Masonry with this great gift.
I can't describe it. It was emotional, I can't even verbalize it now. You know, it's something that you feel you feel a love so profound, you can't put it into words. You know, because it's not something you experience every day.
He was overwhelmed. He couldn't express the gratitude that he had at the time because he was surprised, shocked that somebody would give him that money to get his car equipped and ready to go, so that he could have that dream of finally being able to drive. And all of the Masons that contribute to the Almoner Fund had everything to do with that.
You could be the healthiest, most active person in the world, and then the cosmic dice will just have misfortune strike you, right? And I don't care how much you prepare, you know, how much you try to install a safety net. You cannot prepare for the worst. But the Almoner Fund, it's really literal and symbolic of the brotherhood that Masonry provides. It is a financial representation of the pillars of Freemasonry. It allows brothers to know that when tragedy strikes yourself or your family, that you are not alone, that you are still standing salute with a brotherhood that spans worldwide, and that no matter what happens, that the nature and the togetherness of the human spirit will always triumph over some cosmic or universal tragedy that befalls you or your family.